Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another mod stream, another planning stream. In fact, we're going to be working on not just Hydra planning, but Hydra campaign planning, which is epic. And we might do a little bit of site work, but probably not too much. Hopefully we get some stuff done on the GPTP side of things. Hopefully we get some stuff done in a couple of other departments. But right now, I feel pretty good about today. I think I'll work on some AI stuff. I think we can spend most of today's stream working on actual, impactful work and not just planning. But I've been wrong about that before, so we'll see how far we get. I'm definitely motivated to try and finish the AI work relatively quickly so that we can have something resembling well-optimized AI running in the next fraud craft. So that's kind of one of the initial goals, I would say. Aside from that, if we pop open the modstream.txt, we can see that besides messing around with the Melee AI testing, I think we've done pretty much all that we can in this setting. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot here. I think I probably will drop the mineral cost of the Valkyrie slightly. It's not going to do too much because right now the main limiting factor is that it doesn't fire when there's a certain number of bullets in the game. And that bullet limit is incredibly low. That would be the main reason for it. So I am fairly certain that that's like, there's no way to get out of that one. What else do we have here? I kind of like the idea of something like this where it says add-on for refinery to increase gas per return. So this would be like refinery add-on to increase gas per return, question mark? What's up, Viker? Oh shit, your gift sub has expired. Well, considering Kian just popped open his free thing, whatever it was, on his free bit of server nitro thing and boosted it, you can at least use my emoji anywhere you want in other Discord servers and in DMs, I think, anyway. Oh, I just tried to DM you one, but I don't think it worked. I was using, wait. Oh, okay, yeah, you can't, it doesn't work because you need nitro to use it outside of a server. I thought that wasn't the case, though. Maybe it's like another level of server boosting or something. What a disaster. Anyway. Let's just say it doesn't really matter. Hey, I wanted to run something by you. I'm noticing that the header for this page is different than the header for the main page. Whereas, like, that's obviously not the case over here. For some reason, the header is, like, further up by, like, an extra line or something. I'm not really sure why. So that should probably fix. And we should also fix the fact that the header has so much like, upper space, right? So we never ended up fixing those things. I'm not sure if you can smash those things easily enough. This one is just like the campaign planning, which for some reason isn't even shown in... Oh, hey, sites links to articles. Prank. Love that. When you click sites over there. Yeah, there we go. Is there a way to manually order these, by the way? Here, I will write down prank here. Hold on. So we have header space too high above headers. Sitemap nav in different places in an article or in a site compared to a normal pages. And then rank order, say annually order sites. There you go. Those are the 3 things, because 3, that I want you to look into, if possible. It definitely should be possible to do this, even if it's not right now, like the site ordering, I mean. Because, like, there's going to be some things here that are global, like set up an FAQ, and then there's going to be... I mean, maybe the change there is that we might need something else. I don't know. Maybe a second category. Maybe we could split this into categories. I can see the idea is that we would have to develop a system where, sort of like how the tech tree stuff have their own categories here, of like infrastructure, Templar, robotics, stellar. One thing that we could do, so that we don't have to manually add a link every time we add a new site, is we could have a category for the page. So the category for like set up an FAQ would be like general or info or something. And then for HYDRA campaign planning, and then the Acropolis game mode and some other stuff, that would be like design documentation or whatever. And so that would be its own section on the site. Yeah, for articles and news, it definitely makes more sense to have it be automatic. I think we can keep it automatic for sites. It's just that we would need to have it be in separate categories. It doesn't really make sense to have like set up an FAQ as the only thing in here or whatever, though. Which is why I'm thinking like having it be categorized in that way would be nice. And then also having the ability to have an order. So like obviously setup should be above FAQ, but HYDRA campaign planning should be like maybe the second in the list, and the first would be like a general design guide or document about HYDRA. And then below the campaign planning would be like Acropolis game mode, and then below that could be like the Continuum game mode or something like that. I've been getting a kind of an annoying, like, repetitive muscle twitch on my nose. I don't know why. All right, so we've done all this. We've smashed that. And then what else? We have some stuff to do. Oh yeah, I don't even have Notepad open. So let's take a look at the AI. One of the things that was in this... Oh wait, before I do that, let me just remember to actually find the Valkyrie here and give it 200. Okay, let's say should be able to close that now. All right. I'll probably make them a little bit less tanky as well later on. Okay, so I've just modified the Pazuzu passive to just affect all units. I think Fagudo was pretty on the money when he was talking about the natural, almost like a soft counter style tendency for the Pazuzu to just generally target larger units, or to favor engagements with units that have higher damage pools, like higher DPS, precisely because they will be dealing more damage to themselves when that happens. So it doesn't really make sense to restrict it to just large and Titanic in that sense. I was also thinking that Pazuzus might be the recipient of the full damage type, whatever that ends up being, that will deal full damage to Titanic as well. But at the same time, it's probably also fine for the damage to just be dealt by them. You know, they're already going to get that passive anyway. Update Pazuzu. Okay, so that is going up in a second. Okay, should be good. Let me jump in here. Yeah, okay. Didn't change its weapon type either. Let's jump in and find the Jupiter driver. Yeah, it's still explosive. Okay. But is it still explosive on the website? It is not, so that'll have to change back. Epic. Okay, now let's jump on into the AI. So there were a couple of things I wanted to try with this this tweaking stuff, right? The first was finding under attack and find all cases where it's called. Okay, it actually defaults to 1, which is interesting. So it's not. So I guess what we'll do to try this out is we will under attack 1. Okay. Yeah. We can try this setup. And we'll see if that makes a tangible difference. And if this doesn't fix some of the issues that we've observed, then what we can do is take another step, and instead of calling, instead of just calling under attack 1, we can also in this area call call start campaign, and then call unstart campaign when under attack is reset to 1 down here. That is my next test, because when we switch to the melee AI instead of the campaign AI, that's when it really sucked at defense. That was essentially the initial point. I would prefer it to be automatic so I don't have to manually enter in the link. It's for the same reason that I like that I can just create a page in the directory, name it something, and then reference that something in the unit list. If I had to manually add a link to the unit, Like, I add the Heracles. Okay, now I've got to manually add my Heracles link into the Terran PHP. That would really suck. So I'm glad that it's automatically here, and all I have to do is control the sorting. And that's what I want out of the articles as well. I don't think it's like an unreasonable thing since it's already implemented, right? I'm trying to think it in terms of scalability into the far future, or farther future. All right, let's see if this resolves our AI issues. Oh, I missed to see if this attack force was somewhere else. My thinking is that in all of the different cases where the what would you call it? In all of the cases where the references to the last attack second come through, there's some really important shit in there relating to just the initialization of the defense code. So while we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater entirely, we don't want to say, hey, just because you're under attack, you should cancel everything or delay everything. We definitely don't want that to be the case. We also don't want to just say that you should never do anything related to defense, obviously. So that's kind of where I come at this from. I'm thinking, like, hopefully the AI just springs to life. Now, we don't really have that many brown units. In fact, all of them are, besides this guy, is in the middle of being attacked. So while this is getting attacked, I expect that they will just build units for defense. This is consistent with what we normally see. This brown attack, however, I mean, I don't know how many units this guy even has. It doesn't look like too many, actually. So that might not be a great test either. But, okay, we seem to be getting, attacked by multiple players still. We haven't called for help, it looks like, or at least the other AI haven't bothered to assist us. Pretty much instant pop onto these, though. I don't see any other units anywhere. It's hard for me to know if this is the same kind of thing that we're quote-unquote used to, just on the basis of I'm not seeing like large armies, right? So at least not as large, but I am still seeing everybody building stuff. It's not like they're just doing nothing. This guy is locked down in that sense, but even he is like, fine, I'll just take this expansion again. So I guess he's not too beat up over it. I don't know why it needs or how it should be explained any better, Veek. It's literally the same system that we have for units in the tech trees page. Literally identical. All right, now we got purple attacking. Where's the blue response? Yeah, it doesn't seem like this has really changed all that much, to be honest with you guys. But this is only a single test, so it's hard to know for sure. I'm just imagining. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in the complete lack of ally helping, considering they do have help if trouble, and this Zerg AI, for example, is 1 million units. Could have helped at any point. Now we finally get the assistance, but it's after this Vulture has 10 kills, like all these Zealots have near 10 kills. And it's not even going to be enough. A prank. So Blue mop this up. Vulture spinning. Okay. Let me make sure that I actually added these changed files to the right exe. Avoid embarrassment in the future. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right, let me take a sec to explain this a little bit further since Feek seems to not understand what I'm talking about. So in the Visual Studio Code base, we've got, I'll take a look at the Valkyrie, for example. So in Valkyrie, we've got category 3, tier 2. These are 0 based, so infrastructure is 0, which means air is 3, tier is 2. Obviously, that's not 0 based in the same sense. I mean, technically it is, but there's no tier 0. So we know that, oh, the Valkyrie should be in this block that is category 3, tier 2. Then we look at order. 0 means building, 1 means unit, and suborder, well, really it means 0 is up top and down below is 1. And we just use that for building versus unit. And then suborder means it's order within that section of the box. So if its suborder is 2, then we should find it as the second or the third slot because 0, 1, 2. So in that sense, that gives us a lookup table for where to look for the Valkyrie specifically. Now, what I was saying with the sites is right now we don't have any other categories. So if we were to make categories, then in the website for FAQ, I could put some field up here, or maybe I don't know where it would go, but we would say category equals, we'll say 0, because 0 would be like the critical stuff, like setup and FAQ, the stuff that should always be there. And then we could say order or suborder, whatever we want, would be 1 for FAQ because I want 0 to be set up. And so this is what I would do in here. Something to this effect. Obviously, this is just pseudocode, right? So we could throw that up there. That could be what we do. And then in here, I would be able to put category 1 and order equals 1 because it's the second category and it's the second out of however many of this kind of category I want. And then just like in the Terran.php or wherever this is, yeah, so we have the race table here and we see like tier, infrastructure, bio, mech, air. So we can dedicate these categories. Something like this would be running in the main sites page, which would tell you what the categories of the articles actually are. And that would be how we would structure that. So I'm just talking about, obviously in a way that makes sense, adapting what we already have for units to what we would want for articles or sites in this case. And I think it could be useful for articles as well, essentially giving some metadata to any post here, so we could tag it with certain things and then look it up later, and maybe allow users to sort it by like, oh, does it have this tag in it, and then it will sort it by date based on that or whatever. There's ways to make this happen, and again, right now we don't have any blog post articles. Right now we only have one news post, and right now we only have a couple, like a very, very small handful of sites. So right now it makes perfect sense to say, oh, this is just like, obviously just throw it in manually whenever. But thinking, again, towards the future on this stuff, definitely want that to be more, just better, I guess. All right, so unstart campaign. I really can't type today. Okay, let us try this solution. This is really just troubleshooting. Like I was saying earlier, I would much rather just improve the under attack command, or ideally not even need to use the under attack command at all. Or only in select circumstances, like when I need to shut all spending down because they've been under attack for a very long time or whatever. Even then, I don't think it's really necessary. I would prefer to just figure out a way to make this system work, given its current setup. Well, I'm not really sure what you mean by centralized. I guess what we could do is instead of even bothering to put, we would still want to be able to manually order them on a per article or per site basis. But one thing that I could see happening instead is sort of like how we separate units and abilities and weapons. We could then have a subfolder within this that would be, you know, core info, and then another one that is, we could say like 0 core info, and then 1, was it design documents? Obviously, we wouldn't want to put it in this format that I'm typing it in, but we could have this be here, and then one folder is category 0, and one folder is category 1, and then we can add as many as we like or whatever. And then when we see sites, we would see essentially a path to additional directories, but they would already have all the articles like listed there. So everything in core info would be listed on like the left, and then design documents would be in the middle, and then maybe a third category could be on the right. Or we could just have it be sequential, so that from top to bottom it's like that. But again, I think left, middle, right, or just left and right, it's probably better for the long term. So yeah, we could do something in the directory instead of having to add categories to each individual page. And then the only thing we would have to worry about is like, how do I manually order stuff without making that a headache? I'm not really sure how that would be done, but at the very least, the category stuff can be done through just different directories. So maybe that would be more at your speed. I'm assuming that's what you mean by centralized, but to be honest with you, I don't really know if there's something else that you had in mind instead. All right, we're going to do another run of this with our new attempt. It's just a dumb solution to a problem that can be achieved through automation. And it's not even like an unreasonable thing that we would want to... Like, the manual sorting is done with a field in the thing. Like, it's not difficult to maintain at all. You just change the field if you want to change the order, which is exactly what we do with the units. Like, I don't think of the tech tree base as an unwieldy setup at all. And this is even more automated and like even more centralized, I guess, than the tech trees are, where even more components or more of a percentage of it is dealt with through a folder directory. So I'm at a loss as to what you mean by that, personally. Oh, maybe Start Campaign shouldn't be used so liberally, though. That is kind of fuck, isn't it? That might slow a lot of other things down. I don't want to worry about that kind of thing. So I think I should just restructure this, and we'll say you attack max looks like this. And then we'll say jump blank return 13. Okay. All right, I like this setup a lot better. Oh, larva egg is probably fucking a lot of things up now that I think about it. For Zerg specifically. Since larva egg is used all over the place. So let me just make sure that this works. It's the same setup. Wait, 12. It's not the same work at all because every time I want to add an article manually, I'm going to have to jump into the site's PHP page and then manually move it in some sorting that we have there. So it would be like just a list of setup, Hydra campaign planning, FAQ. So now I've got to add another link here or move it to another section that's further down. And then I've got to make sure that the link is accurate, right? Like to the directory and all that shit. And the directory is not set up in a way that's going to be exceedingly human readable at every step of the way, where it's a bunch of like dates and shit. So that's not the same thing at all as the program automatically doing it for me. I'm not worried about anything. I just objectively know that it's much easier to change a single value, a single integer in a document for however many documents I need on a manual level than it is to manually update stuff, add another thing every single time I need to do it. This isn't like debatable. It's not. There's not like anybody in the world who thinks that getting a link and like making sure that the directory is correct and double checking all this other stuff is somehow easier or less work than changing a single number in a file. Like I'm really not understanding your counter argument here. Like if you're saying it's more work on your end to set up the system that would employ this, then that's something that I can certainly understand and we can talk about that. But this does not seem to fly whatsoever. Like this, it's just not even right. Like having to go into the sites.php page in my code base here, wherever that is. So we have sites, yeah, the index PHP, having to run in here and then manually like, oh, okay, here's like thing number 1. Okay, here's thing number 2. I'm going to add thing number 3 and I'm going to move thing number 2 to category number 3. Like that's a lot more work than just moving it from a folder and then changing it in like changing its integer the same way you would change something in here in the salvo yard, for example. It's so much easier for me to do that than it is to go to Terran, go to find the salvo yard and move it from one category to another manually. So yeah, I'm totally lost as to what you're getting at. All right, let me close this out because I was rewriting this system. Oh. Whoa. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh yeah, the Zerg have defense cycle. I think that's for some... I don't remember why that's like that. Certainly no such thing as self-documenting ASC3. And it's because of the 3. All right, so your penultimate message here says a semi-automatic system that would allow to add links easily to the sites page. It would have the centralization, you use one file, and still be bearable to edit. There's not really any issue with editing the individual files. It's obviously a logistics thing. But if you are trying to make my idea implemented in a more central way, then yeah. Like, again, I'm not arguing about how it's implemented. What I'm saying is, like, my use case needs to be, like, I would prefer it to be as easy to interact with as possible and manually changing shit is not reasonable whatsoever. So as little manual work as possible should be required to maintain the site. I think we can both agree on that. And yeah. Crucially here, they have not yet triggered the code because a building has not been attacked. Okay, now a building has been attacked. Although, wait, maybe my code doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah. So I guess we should do wait 240. That's probably causing some goofy issues. DF is almost done with the new version of the factory. Hopefully it'll be pretty easy for him to finish the barracks and starport as well. I think the main issue with his new version of the factory is that we need another read for the production. I always thought that the factory read needed to be more obvious, considering the kinds of units that can pop out of it, and the idea that you can just get your only read is just a series of blinking lights. It's pretty stupid, in my opinion. Oh, I just realized it is true weight, isn't it? So Zerg are the only ones that have the weight 4. Okay, so yeah, then it's not really that big of a deal, is it? You can Control Z that stuff. I finally Zerg here to them, and all they lost were some sunks. Not bad. Oh, oh. That was some expert play by the AI. He actually saved like a fraction of a second on his last Legionnaire move by not killing that unit immediately and allowing the other guy to teleport to him. Good prankster ammo. Oh shit. I forgot to rename Firebed in the game. That doesn't seem right. Surely not. Oh yeah, I did. Oh wait, the gallery doesn't exist anymore. Oh shit. We've got an army, dude. Just reminded myself of... Surely Maelstrom should actually have a cost of some sort. Oh shit. Well, the Zerg appeared to be mounting a bit of a defense, but then they lost the hatchery, so I didn't actually get a chance to see if it was happening or not. Now Red's being attacked by like a million different dudes, and they don't have an army right now, so... Legion? Imagine doing explosive damage. Ecclesiasts get a lot of mileage, man. Or rather, other units get a lot of mileage out of Ecclesiasts, I should say. Okay. We do have a tier 1 Terran over here, or tier 2 rather, compared to our tier 3 Terran, who's not really building anything. Maybe after he gets this base, might see some more stuff. Mounting quite the defense. I do appreciate that the Hierophants are here to handle things. One thing that would be really nice to fix about AI would be making it so they actually build structures in the same area near their bases, like prioritizing things close to their base. Because so often they'll get requests and they'll satisfy them by putting them off in like their main or some other ridiculous location instead of like saying, hey, we could use some photon cannons actually near our nexus. That would be epic. Can we do that, please? Nice army. Yeah, Terran armies don't seem that bad, to be honest. Particularly since this guy still only has 4 production structures. I don't know how that's even possible. I feel like South team should surely be the winners here, but... you never know. Oof! Spider-Man. No, why would you tag the simulacrum, you goofball? Trying to give him more units? Maybe he's trying to supply block in an unconventional manner. I'm also noticing that pretty much no AI is interested in taking island expos, and I don't know why. Though I've only really ever seen them not take these bases. There haven't really been a lot of island bases in maps, so. What the fuck? What's going on over here? Oh, those are allied. So I was like, what the hell? I always thought it was peculiar that uh in like public games and stuff, you would be called if you were orange, you'd be called OJ. I don't know why. This is like a disaster. One Wraith and two Mutas fighting simulacrums. You guarantee they're all just yeah, he's got like 30 just off of that. Ridiculous. Yeah, if you don't have the critical mass necessary, you are fooked. Hey guys, there's a Reaver. Oh, it was a dud. Iquare? Is that you? You know what's really crazy too is I haven't gotten any slowdown or anything. Like everything's fine. No issues. Oh, we're finally seeing some production. Some production. Get him, Ahmed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy just like I don't even know what you would call it. Pranked himself, to be honest. If his allies can defend him long enough, maybe he'll finally start building stuff. The one advanced production structure he built, and it didn't even get finished. Oh shit. Calcath. Oh. It's beautiful. Gotta help a homie out over here. This is so goofy. Oh shit, that was a hallucination. I never would have guessed. Alright, I'm starting to get a little bit of slowdown, I think. It's hard to tell. But yeah, it's really peculiar that that this stuff is like this. Yeah, here's a very well placed production structure, by the way. All right, we are starting to see some production. What's up, Mutas Dozen? How you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm just running some more AI tests, as you can see. They are doing things. They do have armies. Red took his sweet fucking time, and if his allies hadn't covered his ass the whole way through, let's just say it would have been very different. But yeah, running out of expansions so far. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure they're all going to be at peak money. Holy shit. They're actually building stuff over here? I think that might not be allowed. He's finished his captaincy. There's a lot of madrigals. A lot of tanks of both kinds here. Phalanxes and madrigals. Oh, spinner! Yeah. There's been a ton of snow. Ah, self-own. Hey, nice ally wall. AI griefing. Holy fucking drone, dude. Got enough? Got enough drones on that that expo? If only one of them would go to an island. In fact, I wonder if any of them have. Oops. Yeah, 0. Oh, look at this. One of them has. Where is he? He's this guy, but he won't take a fucking ferry. Somebody transport him, dude. Why won't he do it? Okay, so we know they're trying to take the expansions, but for some reason they refuse to request transports. That's an odd one. Dude, holy moly. Hi. You could have had the phalanx. Ooh! Brutalized. Oh, fuck. A siege. Yeah, they don't want to cross the water. Heracles might want to move slightly faster, to be honest. He does take his sweet fucking time, and it looks a little goofy. There you go, just needed some energy there. Yeah, that's the best part of these like team games. Large numbers of units. If only they could find a way out of their own base. Then we would be in business. Actually, I think they're just massing up here as preparation for an attack. So they will eventually leave, even though it looks really goofy right now. It's sort of like what you see here. It just happens to look like they can't make their way out of the base. Are they map hacking? Dude, look. Zerg preparing to defend? Oh, there are 3 architects here. That might just be over, to be honest. Oh, here's a 4th. Yeah, that might be over. Especially when you got double penumbra. Triple penumbra? Holy fuck. What do these guys even have? Do they have anything? I don't see anything. No, I think they're just dead. I think this should surely be the end. Oh, they didn't even get a chance to attack the architects because the idols got them. It's over. I'm keeping my eye out for the Terran move out here as well, but yeah. There goes those missile hits. Can they mount a successful defense? It all hinges on whether or not they can even get up the ramp. And one of them is up the ramp. Another comes up the ramp. They're in position. Missiles are splitting. Oh! It's over. 3 up the ramp attacking. So brutal. They're moving up onto the workers. They've snuck in. Meanwhile, purple spinning some more. Yeah, Zarmi slowly marching. Oh no, you're attacking him again? You can't do that. Oh, looks like one architect has been dealt with, perhaps. Those architects called for witness. Wait, where'd the penumbra go? Are they spinning somewhere? Did they die? I don't see any rubble on the ground, so probably not dead. I see Pazuzu. Where the penumbra at, homie? Oh, there's one. Did they die? I don't know. I don't see any rubble anywhere. I don't know how they could have died. See rubble in Red's base. Oh no, they still haven't cleared this. Yeah, that's it. Might be it, boys. Might be all she wrote. Wow, Red finally going for some higher tech stuff. Double Iron Foundry. Might be a bit late, man. Sorry to say. I actually wonder, is that Zerg still there? I want to try something. Oh. It won't let me spawn units because we're at the limit, I guess. Or near it. I wonder why. Casually millions of simulacrums. Including ones blocking the penumbra. Yeah, this is a map that definitely needed wider pathways, but doing that alone wouldn't have fixed this. Would have just introduced other defensible / spacing issues. I suppose as an AI battleground, it would probably just make it objectively better, but I don't know. For humans, it would have been a bit ridiculous. Look, there's plenty of envoys over here. I'm surprised the Protoss didn't try to take that base. Holy fucking base layout, by the way. Yeah, I wonder why Teal stopped attacking as much. Here we go. We get to see the penumbra in action finally. Jesus Christ. Does he? Oh, he does. Nope, that would just be a bug. Probably the same reason he's got a million of units in general without attacking with them. He's fucked. Fucked in the feed. What does happen is you'll get requests from multiple towns saying, "Hey, we need what do you call it?" So the request will say, "If you don't have a fleet beacon already, you should get one." And if they have multiple bases sending those requests at the same time, then it doesn't say I should get just one. It just says I don't have one. I need to build one. And it doesn't check if like it has another request already and it just hasn't satisfied it yet. It will check if it's in the middle of being built. But there are those rare cases where you can get fucked by essentially just um not error correcting from something like that. I mean, Teal will take 8 years to actually clear just because he's got so many units stuck inside his base, but it's almost certainly over, especially with the architects. Oh, look at all those drones. Bye. Hey, it looks like we uncovered a bugged tile that I never knew about. More like droleths, am I right? I was thinking of giving the architect a minimum range, actually. I think the only unit in the entire game that has a minimum range is actually just the sieged phalanx, so pretty goofy. I think all of his paladins got mind controlled and just smacked out of existence immediately. Oh, what have they done? Who knows? In fact, those mind tyrants are probably one of the only ways that this guy could still theoretically come back, but he would need to use them in like with incredible precision. Speed this up a little bit. Yeah, he's driving them all back somehow. Oh shit. Red's technically still alive. In fact, blue is too. Look, he's got a base up here. Yeah, now we've successfully hit some lag territory. I wonder why. Wonder what specific unit is causing it. There's like maybe there's more than just one, but there's certainly at least one unit out there that is specifically lagging, slowing down the game quite a bit. And we haven't yet been able to figure out what specifically it is. Maybe it's something that's just some memory that's not being cleared. I'm not sure. I could imagine it was one of the more recent additions. Imagine getting penumbered. Ugh. I don't even know what killed it, to be honest. Something off screen, I guess. Ah! Suddenly performance is back, so yeah, I guess so, Peak. I don't know if it's because I spawned a unit, though. That would seem really weird. What the fuck? Maybe that... Surely that was just, like, timing. That I spawned a unit for an AI in it. Fix the problem. It wasn't even, like, a unit. Like, it wasn't even, like, a useful unit. What the fuck? Ah! Random disruption field. Holy Archon. Love that. Fuck yeah, Golem. Ah! Dude, this one man making a valiant effort at not dying. I don't really see it happening personally. His base has been ransacked. He's still being kissed. One of his many fleet beacons is falling. The AI is expanding next to him. Fuck yeah. We can't wait for creep to recede around these parts. And we can't lift our structure off, that's for sure. Down a gateway goes. Yeah, it's like buttery smooth now, so I really don't know why that would happen, to be honest. Hi. Just parasiting your allies' units, of course. Zerg here. Oh, fuck. This idol must have, like, ridiculous stacks of the vassal passive. It just zoomed his way in there. What's up, James? Probably not. I don't think... We don't know any CGI artists or anything, so... There's some people who might be interested in it once the project is further along or something, but... Like that free space guy I talked to years ago about making it. He said he didn't have time and he wouldn't accept payment because he views Starcraft content as like he said it would feel wrong for him to accept payment for Starcraft content, but he also doesn't have the time to do anything for free. So it was like a really weird like combo. I don't know if that was just his polite way of saying he wasn't interested at the time or what, but I was willing to pay him. So But yeah, aside from that, I don't even know if he's still active in the biz any longer. I'm assuming this guy's just out of gas at this point. I'm hoping that the lag comes back so I can test my spawn unit theory. Yeah, I think it is back. I wonder if it's after like a certain number of simulacrum duplications or some weird shit. There's no reason why it would be like that, but not bullet limit, by the way. Well, let me. Fuck. Still seems about as laggy. No real change in performance. So yeah, it wasn't the spawning. It was something else. I don't think so. There weren't really any air units. Like there were some, but wasn't that many. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what it was, but I do know it must be causing issues with the. Um, Jesus Christ! Something must be really fucked up with the Protoss like guard allocation or something because you don't see this shit in. Like when I look at the Terran base, yeah, I see this embarrassment. But I don't see like a million units. Like, it can't just be that they're all stuck because of that. Maybe it is, but like these units aren't stuck. They're just sitting there. Some amaranths are spinning. They seem to be assigning guards. There's air units in here that are doing nothing. Why the fuck? Why? Why has this happened? Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't like again. It's not like there's slouches. They've got a ton of shit up here, but they have like 5 or 6 times the number of units down there. Spawn a nuke on that. I don't think I could teach that AI a lesson. What I could probably do is spawn sovereign. N. Here we go. Check me out. Hi guys. Will I live? Oh, I failed to achieve victory. That was when the AI was about to get nuked, they killed me. That's really funny. I guess my AI has learned. Was brutal. All right. I will return momentarily to continue working on the AI. I feel like as far as defensibility goes, like that was kind of difficult to gauge whether or not it was a significant improvement. But I guess we'll leave it like this because it doesn't seem to have caused like ridiculous issues, obviously. Like there was nothing caused by that, as far as I can tell. Like the Protoss stuff was always there. What were the other really big issues that we saw? I don't think we saw really anything egregious besides obviously the performance hits and the um, Protoss units stuck in their bases. And neither of those were like unique, obviously. Those were there for a while. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure like maybe there was a slight performance improvement in terms of the AI's performance, not the program's performance. Aside from that, I guess we'll just wait and see. But yeah, we'll keep it the way that it is, I think. I don't really see too much of a concern. Um, yeah. I don't see too much of an issue with what I've written here. So when we come back, we'll just go back to working on the actual fundamental systems. I'll try to improve the Terran AI stuff the way that it is so that I can get it as good as it can be. And then from there, we can move on to adapting the other races to the same system. So I shall return in just a few minutes. Yo, yo, yo. We have returned. Oh. All right, Veek's working on the site, it looks like, but we will see how that develops as time goes on. If we are going to be jumping on to the trying to fix up the AI to some degree, we can start by taking a look at that AI that we just witnessed that was doing some real goofy things. So if we go to multiplayer, MISC, Kakadu Port AI. Player 1 is General 1. Well, I can see where I told them to build an iron foundry when they didn't have a science facility. But I don't even think they satisfied the 3 fact request to begin with. They expand. Oh, maybe they did? I don't actually remember what their base looked like, to be honest. I don't think it was in their main, though. Let's just quickly run through that map, because this ought to be the map. So we'll see. It should go double fact. Oh, in fact, they go expo before. So this has probably got something to do with it, that they're expanding so early. Means they generally have... They get the factory requests before they can realistically satisfy them. That's what this says to me. So I would say wait 300 before the first factory request, and then maybe we'll be in business. That's probably just a timing thing where they need time to set up the refinery and then get the gas necessary. So I basically just underestimated that, right? Then the engineering bay request is going to be higher priority than the factory. And they probably have limited minerals afterwards because of the expansion being out of sync. So the second factory goes down around 330-ish. And now what do they have? They should have a third factory request somewhere, and they do. They've got the money to satisfy it. But they have a salvo yard request that they can't satisfy that is higher priority. That still shouldn't mean anything. They should still recycle that immediately. Have the NG bay if needed. They have 5 starport requests, which is fucking wild. But again, why don't they... And a captaincy request. They're just not doing anything. We got so much money. Yeah, I'm at a real loss here. I'm wondering why they're not building stuff. Like, I guess this is the consequence of setting the priorities of the production structures to be lower than the priorities of the tech structures. So maybe the add-ons should go back to like 76 instead of 75. But this doesn't really make any sense to me. If you can't satisfy a request using the AI script extension plugin, the request recycler is supposed to recycle that request, say, hey, we can't do this right now, so move on to the next. And they're just not, which is really bizarre to me. They've got so much money, plenty of supplies. So how does that happen exactly? Let's see if we get anything better from that. I guess we'll say P need one science facility and P need one engineering bay. And then we'll say we'll add the Iron Foundry request for them to satisfy later, and then just get out of here as soon as possible, essentially. And then this is where we can do that. I think that's fine for this build. Oh. Yeah, well, obviously the categories are the wrong names, but I can fix that easily enough. Where are these defined exactly? This seems really confusing to me. Oh dear. Why have you done order with letters? Oh man. Okay. Let's see what we're doing here then. Wait, what is this? Oh. No, I don't agree with that at all. It's completely human unreadable to have like A instead of just doing A, B, C. But A, B, C is just toxic as fuck to look at. Like I see what you're saying, but that it's very goofy. Yeah, for good reason because there's an explicit order of things. I don't see that as an issue at all. I thought you were going to go for a single file that would organize everything, but I guess it's a single file per article. Yeah. And that is a very realistic case that will happen very frequently, and I will take it upon myself to simply reorder things. Well, I think if we have 100 sites, we have a lot more issues to solve than just that. But that is a natural issue, so. Oh, interesting. I don't know why I wrote it like that. I mean, no, any way that I can imagine trying to use that system is not going to be human readable at all. No, I think that's just accepting the premise of ridiculous. Like that is so ridiculous to try to remember. Like at a glance, if we have 100 sites and I'm trying to add something in slot 57, then I still have to do like a ridiculous jumble to figure out which one is into like entry 57 based on A, B, C. Like your same exact use case that you tried to use as an argument for your approach is actually more impossible to understand. Like technically I rename less files, but I have to do way more like ridiculous hunt like find and search shit. Whereas in the case of looking up like which one is article 57 or site 57, I can just type order colon 57 into my search and find it. So at least I know exactly what I have to edit at a glance. Now, the way that you could combine this is by leaving a comment that has the actual order, but then every time I change the order, I have to rename the comment to keep it accurate, which means it's also defeating the purpose because I still have to go through and rename everything. So, again, if there was a central document that had the order in like in it as like for everything, so one site.yml file that had this order shit, then yeah, that would make perfect sense. But that's not what we have. So considering what we have, we're gonna have to do it through numbers. Like everything else is just it will just become a complete mess in terms of scalability. I still have to go and find what it is. Like I'm not sure you understand that if there's 57 sites and I need 69 and I'm or if there's 69 sites and I need to add something at the 42nd entry, then I have to go through all of the sites that might be that. right? Or I mean, I guess I can ballpark and look on the website and say, oh, like I guess like around the 40s is this article, so I'll just look at that article and see. But at a glance, I can't tell what it is. That's what I mean. It's not going to be human readable at all later on. So this is at least a human readable format, even though actually working with it will be a bit of a chore as we get further along. And maybe that will just encourage us to find a way to make the system work in the context of a single file that holds everything. That would be the most central solution. And I would think that that would work out best. But obviously, that's pretty much it, man. Oop, pranked. Apparently 0 is not actually where it begins. Oh wait, I have to test. Oh, it does work. It doesn't look like the order is respected. I guess you didn't actually allow it to work with integers or something. So you'll have to add the support for that. Did you do the same ordering system for articles or no? All right, looks like you fixed the header space, but we still have the sitemap nav difference here. No, I didn't say no. I said if you could make that work, that would be the best solution. Oh, wouldn't want to bother editing another site to add the links. Yeah, I don't. I refuse to add links on a manual basis, but manually organizing the sites in terms of their order using one file is going to be way easier than any other solution that we've come up with. You said that you didn't know how to do that, which is why we moved on to this, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe we're not speaking to each other clearly enough here. Anyway, yeah, this still isn't fixed. The discrepancy here. This was fixed. Although you what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know about that one. What what's happened here? All right, so this the site nav, the articles nav, and the news nav. These pages all have the incorrect old style. But then on the actual site, let me see if it's like this. Yeah, there's like a giant gap over here now. Okay. Figure that out later. Let me run in to do this test again, just to take a look at this Terran man. What the fuck? Okay. Probably should wait a little bit longer before the expansion call by the looks of things. Oh, we have the money now. Now he's got the 3-fact request. Goes for the depot. Goes for the NG bay. Still no second, or still no third factory, and now getting absolutely annihilated. Oh, he's got units. Never mind. Oh. We finally have an attack that got canceled to bring it home. Holy shit. Our system did work. Although, I don't know by how much, to be honest. No, looks like they just went back to it because they... Oh, now we go back. Alright, cool. Our update did actually update something. So now they've got still a decent amount of money, but no... What the fuck? There we go. They finally got the add-ons. And the science facility comes out. That's pretty banging. They still don't have more than 4 production structures. 2 of them are add-ons. The explicitly called ones are not here. They go for an expansion again. But where the fuck is their spending at? I wonder if maybe the request priority is somehow really low. Oops. No, if you rewind the VOD, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was when we were talking about like having a folder structure for the categories to further automate the organization and make it more centralized, which was your word. I don't actually know to what extent that that was particularly useful, but yeah, you'll find it if you care to look anyway. The fuck? Well, that's fuck. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, I said the one file solution would be banging, and the folder structure is probably a better one as well. Just because if you don't even need to check, if the only thing you need to check from the individual files is, or if the only way you need to reference the original files or whatever, the individual sites, the only reason you need to is just for the order, and then the actual categories can be like I did in my mock-up over here. It's like the first category would be general info, and the second category would be design documentation. That would be pretty I think that would be pretty sensible. If you feel like you don't need that, then maybe it doesn't matter, but this guy has surprisingly gone for some more starports than I expected him to. Whoa, don't turn off my computer. Yeah, that's fine too. I mean, that's basically what you have going on right now, where the categories file tells you like a shorthand to reference it, and also I think it makes sense for info and design to be the URLs, which is another thing that we've got to consider. So yeah, that's probably fine. I was also going to ask you what you think about actually adding a No Frauds Club button up here in the top left in the sitemap navigation. But I also don't know if that really matters that much. Like we have it in the individual race pages, but not in the individual unit pages. Um, Maybe it would be good just to have it. I was also thinking of making this a link or formatting it the same way because it's like the one time you have a. Well, it is technically consistent. It just looks really weird to be not bold. But at least adding it for consistency at the on the unit pages, I think makes sense. Since there is actually a fraudsclub.com index now. I should probably add a couple of additional blurbs. Oh yeah, and I missed to scroll up a little bit here. I missed James Gilchrist's other comment where he said, "Ever since watching my video game reviews, he has realized how limited the video game worlds in these games are. The player has little agency with the story or the streamlined gameplay." Yeah, well, that is kind of the problem, isn't it? Also, hi Beaver, forgot to say hi to you. Yeah, that is kind of the main issue. I think is that you get this lack of exploring what games really offer, right? And you don't really get the opportunity to like I try to liken it to other forms of media because it's so easy to see how other mediums differ from what video games can provide just by looking at what is fundamentally possible or impossible depending on the medium. Like in a book, you can rewind by like turning the page backwards. In a movie or a TV show, you can literally rewind, or I guess it's not really literal anymore because rewind was for VHS tapes, but you get the idea. Like you can go back in the program and watch the same thing again. But in a video game, you have the opportunity, assuming the world is developed in such a way and the mechanics are developed in such a way to allow this, you can go back to a place where you already did something and then do a different thing or experience a different thing. And very few games actually allow for this. I think this is probably one of the reasons why Dynamo and I did a episode of the Street Dog podcast on this sort of topic in general. At least in this episode, we talked about this. It was the Grand Movie Game Conspiracy episode. And one of the things that I mentioned is that I think open world games can offer some really interesting things because it does give you the allure of exploring an open world. It's just so often the engagements, the experiences end up feeling very meaningless and falling super flat. And that's kind of one of the main things that I wanted to get at in general is in all these video games, like to really feel immersed, you have to be fully engaged in some sort of experience. And that sounds like weird, verbose, vague nonsense, but all it really takes to engage somebody is to make them play really well in order to win. Like that's one way to engage somebody, right? If you're engaged in a map that I make in Brood War, for example, you can just jump straight in and be like, oh, I actually have to play the game and focus on playing the game well in order to win, or at least in order to survive a little bit later into the game where maybe I die anyway. And just in the idea or the act rather of forcing good play from the player if you want them to win, that design style will mandate that the player is engaged in the content and thus immersed. Like, even if they're playing multiplayer and laughing about how crazy they're getting destroyed or how hard they have to play in order to win or whatever, even though that doesn't seem like the same kind of immersion as when you're watching a movie and you're roped into the character dramas and you're really like, you know, feeling the way that the director wanted you to feel in that sense or something to that effect. Even though that doesn't seem like the same thing, for video games, that is actually the same thing. Like that's immersion. When you're full focus on the game, like the CSGO professional players that I'm casting sometimes, and the professional players that I aspire to cast in the future because they're at the top level, those people are fully immersed in Counter-Strike, even though they're playing with team comms and there's no story and there's no like AI they're fighting against or anything. And, you know, it's all about the mechanics and they're playing in multiplayer against other players. Nobody thinks of multiplayer as immersive on like, especially people who come from more of a single player background, but that is getting immersed in a product. That is getting fully engaged in a product. And that's why I want to model a lot of the single player content that I produce and the arcade content, like the co-op versus AI content that I produce. I want to model a lot of that stuff around competitive experiences because I want to compete for your players' time. So that's one reason to compete, right? But I also want to task the player with playing well and therefore having to get immersed in the game in order to find success. And that is like the major way to do it, I think. That's like the best way to do it. So that seems to be something that only video games can do. And it's not always true that if only you can do something, then that's like what you should focus on. Like sometimes it's fine to do something that other people have done just because you can do it a little bit better or in your own way. But this is an area where I think video games really could excel and already have excelled at like top level Starcraft and top level Counter-Strike and stuff like these, like top level Quake. These games that provide you with this competition on a multiplayer level, obviously, in an esports level, a competitive gaming level. That stuff already provides that. And that's what transforms the experience for my money. So, yeah, I would just say, jumping off his point, I don't know if he's even still here, but giving the player agency and then also forcing them to use that agency well in order to actually win, those are key elements, right? So you can't just make it difficult and force them to play the game well. Like that doesn't always guarantee that you're going to have a good game, because maybe your game, in order to play it well, I have to deal with a bunch of gimmicks, or I have to like wait a long time or grind or pay money or some, you know, any other number of insane things that would just be antithetical to any actual game design. That doesn't make a game completely by itself. But if you at least have that framework in your mind of knowing that you're going to provide the player with a satisfactory experience, an experience that requires them to play well, and requires them to immerse themselves in the game, essentially. And then you make sure that your agency is there as well, right? The player has the opportunity, the breadth of mechanics and options that they have available to them, tools in their toolbox to accomplish whatever task they want to accomplish, and to show off their personality within the act of playing the game. That's how you can really, that cross section there, if you can get both of those things done, is how you can deliver upon a really, I guess, robust experience. And that's something that we very rarely see, which is why I'm drawing callbacks to games released in fucking 2000 or 1997, 1998, and I guess like technically 2012 for CS, but that's just the latest version of it, obviously. So yeah, would be nice to see more of that. Meanwhile, purple's been eviscerated. A single spider mine. Oh, actually, so is teal. And just tapped back in and, or not teal, brown. Teal's mining themselves or walling themselves in again. Blue's got 1,000,000 units. Death raining from the hell or from heaven. You decide. So I guess red did actually come online in that one, but my issue with it is that he's still fucking doing nothing in the early game, and he certainly could do better. Don't y'all think? Oops. There we go. Just wanted to make sure I didn't screw something up. I wonder if it's not prudent to like fill in some of this stuff for these side bases. I want to at least get rid of this. And maybe we do that. Bit more build space. take this opportunity to fix one of the longer standing issues with the map, which was the fact that it had pretty far away mineral fields. Or did I just own myself? What the fuck? All right. Yeah, this should improve the map quite a bit for our testing purposes anyway. Oh, okay. I have not actually put together a brush for this stuff. Okay. I'm so confused. Oh, I guess I just do that. Ah, that one wasn't set up properly, though. Apparently. Oh yeah, actually they're all kind of fucked up, aren't they? That's unfortunate. I'll have to design like a better suite for that later on. That is a wacky fucking ramp, though. Think I got all the ones that I intend to extend. I could see this one just being completely linked up, but I don't know. Probably leave that one where it is. Okay, so now I'll grab this and do the same thing. This was a real fucking experiment in terms of messing around with symmetry and stuff. And overall, I think it worked out okay. All right, so I widened those, widened these. This, 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 and then this and that. Yeah, they're all one wider now. Fix the mineral fields for the mains. I don't really believe in mineral onlys anymore, so I think I will drop one over here. Okay. All right. All that said, it should definitely be an improved map now. Kind of weird that I didn't put town hall markers in all of the bases. I don't really know what the fuck that's all about. Fixed. All right. And then I can remove the AI units later if I wanted to update the map in actuality. Don't see why I wouldn't. All right. So we've fixed up a lot of the defense, and we're trying to triage the Terran stuff, but it's not easy. Don't really know what the issue might be with that Terran spending shite for this particular build. He definitely has a lot of requests, but seemingly no real interest in actually satisfying them. One moment. There was a disturbance, but it has been settled. All right. I need to find a specific mix of music, and I never find it, dude. Oh, maybe I can find it this time. Hold on. Scanning, searching. No, I think I went too far back. Maybe they took it down, to be honest. That might be the case. Oh, I found it. That was easy. This wasn't even that long ago. How the fuck did I keep missing it? Oh well. I have it now. Finally. Let's go, boys. Okay. This is probably my greatest nemesis right here. This terrain. Junk. What I should have done, in hindsight, is I should have emphasized, I should have given this base, this red and thus purple base as well. In fact, I mean, I could just do this now, to be honest. This should have just been more build space for this player in his main. And maybe even shift his start location slightly. And because the reason being is we already have asymmetry across the sides. It's not like it's just, players 3 and 6 get the double base, the double gas starting base, and then the limited build space natural. It's also red and purple get this back base with a gas that's pretty nice. They get closer access to the central base that has 2 ramps and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the blue and orange players get closer access to the natural or to the island expansion that has double gas. So yeah, like there's a lot here that's like asymmetrical, right? So I think realistically speaking, if I just leaned into that a little bit more, we probably would have been a lot better off, I guess. So I guess I'll just do that now, to be honest. Like, oh, it's just off, of course. I need to get the silhouette of this down anyway, so we're probably going to go down 1. And then this. So what did I do exactly? So it was like this. And then I just added 1 in a corner. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll forget my symmetry if I don't set this up beforehand. Is that even real? I guess not, huh? To be honest, I'm not actually sure if this is that much of a net improvement, but at least it's not just completely wasted space. Whoa. Oh, did I just not line this up at all? Yeah, this is still apparently one too far. Yeah, now it's aligned correctly. At least on this edge. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. And here we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 5 corner. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. How confusing. Okay. Now, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The question is, do I want to extend? I think I'll extend that by 1, right? And then I can do this. And then I guess I can do this. For maximum length. The lengthening has begun. Oh. Okay. All right, now we've fixed up that. My thinking is we probably need to reorder the resources. Okay. Now, I think this is still fine, right? So what we're going to do is... no, we want XY, I think. One of these should be lined up still. Oh, maybe not. All right, well, maybe we have to do this manually then. So we have... 1, 2, 3, and then up to 1, so down 2 and over 1 should be that. And then over a full and up 1, so over a full and down 1. And then this is that. And then we have a string of them, and it's over a full up 2. So over a full down 2. Oops. Yeah. And we can move that there and that there. This is one geyser separated, right? Oh, actually, it's only half a geyser. I think we want it to be a full geyser separated. Okay. So that is definitely going to be an improvement, I think. So we should be able to fit another whole one in here. Yeah. So we've got that going for us. And then we can... Oh shit, I had mirror XY ticked. What a disaster. Okay. And I think just in the interest of keeping that part consistent, we will actually bring this in. Get a bit more build space going. What's up, Kian? Yeah, I actually was just been doing so much AI testing, but a lot of the same issues keep cropping up. And I wanted to see if I could resolve them. Or at least adjust some of them. So the long and short of it is we've got wider exit ramps facing towards the central area. I've removed the crashed minotaurs that were down here as well. So while I haven't widened the central ramps, and they are still super easy to have a choke, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more easy at all stages of the game to move around, and AI will specifically not get tripped up by those anymore. But yeah, I've widened all of the ramps leading into the central bases. I've widened at least one exit ramp. Yeah, one exit ramp for the red, blue, purple, and orange bases. And those are the ones that are facing further out. I've also widened two ramps leading out from the teal and brown bases. So both of the exit ramps out are widened now. And I've also finally done away with the waste of space that was over here. That's what I just did. And then adjusted the red and purple start locations to better suit things. And for blue and for orange, I fixed up the mineral fields so that they would be slightly more efficient. So overall, it's just a pretty significant update to the map. Oh yeah, and I added a gas to this previously mineral only just for more gas because I really don't believe in mineral only bases. At least if there's going to be a mineral only base, it has to be like a little bit different than what I was employing here. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty significant update, all things considered. And I think the majority of it is, you know, there's like slightly more build space in all, well, there's more build space in all bases, but now there's more build space, albeit slightly, for red and purple compared to blue and orange. And that is going to allow for different strategies. I am still a little concerned about defensibility. Obviously, this ramp being even wider now means it's much harder to secure. And, you know, if your natural instinct is to expand up here, like I don't think this map is still like melee ready. I feel like if I was going to go with this kind of setup now, I would have a much wider middle area so that the rush distance was lowered, which would allow you to at least protect yourself in a better way, I think. I can't feasibly come up with a way to improve defensibility without removing some of the ramps or like temporarily blocking them off with crashed minotaurs, for example, which obviously would completely screw with the AI. So yeah, I still think it won't be feasible for human play, but it should be much better for AI play, and that will allow me to test games without the map throwing me for a curveball so often. And thank you, Mr. Smith, for the compliment. Yeah, it's a it's mostly custom tiles, right? But yeah, been pretty positive overall. I still think I've learned so much about like spacing and stuff since this map is created. I know for a fact that none of what I have done here is actually going to be particularly helpful. But like, just because it's not going to make this map like super epic doesn't mean I can't I may as well, you know, actually update the map all the same. You know what I mean? Even though it's not going to suddenly become perfect. Oh yeah, I guess I can just link these together completely. Yeah, this is an example of a base that's like super small, and that was kind of intentional, but I just don't think it makes as much sense to do now. So, but yeah, what have you been up to lately, Monsieur Comstock? Now, if I remember correctly, before I started using these start locations to assign these towns manually, I actually needed this to separate the gases. Don't need them anymore, so I think I'll just get rid of them. Oh, wow, that's good. Yeah, never mind. That's pretty amazing. What do I even do about that, huh? I wanted something that would take up less build space. Guess I'm shit out of luck in that department, huh? Lard says no. Welcome back, Viker. All right, let's take a look at your stuff. Yeah, I should have some time later on, so I'm sure we'll get into some sort of shenanigans. All right, let me pull these changes. So I'm not sure if they've been deployed on the site already, but I shall check out what's been going on here. What's up with this? Okay, we have sites YML. I guess this is the folder. And then if I wanted to rename the internal name or this, I would just change that. Okay. Okay. This does mean that our, okay, it just says campaign. This link no longer works. This is the classic where Windows doesn't technically consider that to change anything, so. It's just Windows, as usual. So in order to fix this issue, you've changed something about the header class instead of just changing the top, which has resulted in every header now having no spacing between it and the horizontal line, which now means I need to BR every header. So you might consider solving that without hard coding it to the class and just fixing it on the actual style sheet or whatever's controlling the spacing of text with this. But yeah, this is definitely much better than it was before. So thank you for looking into that and providing some simpler ways for Mongo men such as myself to do the work. I don't even know what it would look like for this one, TBH. Guess it would be like this. There's still a slight tile block there, but we'll allow it, I suppose. Well, no. This isn't at all what it seemed like you were suggesting before. It seemed like what you were suggesting before was that I have a single index PHP that I manually add links to. So it would be like if, you know, the way that we have the index PHP for the main Hydra page or the main page where I've manually added all of the links to the Discord, the YouTube, the GitLab, all that shit. But for every single site. That's what it seemed like you were telling me I should be doing when you said that I should manually maintain it. Some milestone. Windows is at least an operating system, unlike some other operating systems that claim to be operating systems. Citation needed on that one, homie. But how you doing? Don't say that. Simply not allowed. All right, overall, I'm pretty happy with this makeover to the map. Should definitely be more playable. Just double check that everything works out a-okay. You know, it did just occur to me that we might offset the fact that there's like a preference for a plethora of expansions in the top right compared to the top left. We could make it so that red has the only ramp into here, and that this isn't a ramp, and change how this flows. I don't know. It probably wouldn't mean anything, but I was thinking like we could transform this into an expansion. There's just not enough map space for that to work out, and then obviously like any air attack or whatever from orange or blue respectively down here would absolutely eviscerate it, so I don't really see the point. I do think that there's still a lot of wasted space on the map for my money. Like this negative space over here does nothing. It's really small. It's just there to make it so that it's slightly less plain to look at, I guess. And that's about it. But yeah, I think we'll probably leave that one there. So we have to figure out what is stopping the Terran from actually building stuff. Like, I guess what I can do is up the priority of these. Try that. And then in add prod, $82.80, 82.80. I don't know. That's really the only thing that comes to my mind. Bing bong. Oops. Might be less limited compared to YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. Twitch chat character limit. Apparently it's a 500 character limit. Oh. Maybe if you're not modded, it's 50. I don't know. I'm getting a bit confused here. Yeah, I don't know. Might try it. It might be 50 if you're just a pleb chatter with no mod. But who knows? Might as well give it a shot. Could test a greater than 50 character limit. Pleb chatters. How do I figure out how many? Yeah, that was length 57. So I will head on over to my chat and try to message that. Let's see. Seems to have been sent. Oh, and I guess I can do this on my other browser too, right? Hold on. I'll even follow myself and blow up my own head. Oh wait, this guy's modded. This account's modded on this channel. Well, I've got no idea then. Somebody else do it. No, that's 57 characters. Just copy my text and paste it. All right, there you go. So it's 500 for you probably. Oops. Oh shit, he wants this base. That's pretty cool. One fact Expo NG Babe, by the way. So now he goes for the captaincy. But I don't understand because he has the factory requests. 3 of them to be precise. And yet, here he is. With fucking nothing, lads. He's got 1,000 minerals that he's not spending. $1,000 minerals, by the way. 7 captaincies. Yeah, these requests are just going to keep going up because he's not fucking spending his money. So my algorithm's like, hey, you should spend your money fast because you have so much of it. So it just keeps adding the requests. Apparently not at the right priority. That's what I mean. Is like according to his script, that's not at all what he requests. Like the captaincy shit comes in later anyway. Hold on. I get the idea that maybe we jump on the gun with the expansion a little bit too fast. That doesn't really make any sense to me. That why it wouldn't work. So then we add prod and go to build gen fin, which calls build bool. Which does all this. Build down, build supply, build gas. I don't know why. Okay, I get it for adding attack waves, but I don't know why defense has anything to do with this because it's going to check for. Oh, well, maybe it does make sense. I don't know. I don't even know what that means, Veek. You mean writing something like a new language or whatever? 4,000 minerals. 9 starport requests. Like what the fuck is he doing? His add-on requests are the highest priority stuff. Maybe that's somehow fucking with him, I don't know. What if we do 79? I highly doubt this fixes anything, but... Yeah, it would have to be C#, but I've got no idea. He doesn't seem interested in doing that. LC probably would have asked me about it. He did say he wanted to do something in C# for the new... Or no, you said you wanted to do something for C# in the new engine. I don't really care as long as it's performant and powerful. Yeah, he didn't say anything to me about it, so... Last time he talked to me about it, it was months ago, which is why I assumed he wasn't very interested in it. Okay. Now he finally is getting the factory requests. So this time he's up to 2 factories. We see an improvement. But still no third that I can see. Yeah, these are all depots. He's got the money. Oh. Starport. He's got money for so much more shit. So where's it at? Yeah, I'm a little at a loss here. Not quite sure what to make of that one. He's made a lot of units out of them. So that's promising. But the only reason why he has so many requests is because he has so much money that he's not spending. So maybe we're going about this the wrong way. with our more robust algorithm, or not really algorithm, but I've written these functions, so maybe I should just be skyrocketing the priorities. What? I didn't say anything about. I said it would probably have to be C# based on what you were recommending me a long time ago when we last talked about this subject. And I was, if you remember, I was the one who was saying I don't think an interpreted language would be good for any of it, and was strongly against that idea. But you were the one who had more programming experience than I did, so I deferred to your opinion. Oh, what the fuck? Did I mirror XY myself somehow? What happened here? All right, what do we got? Okay, we have the double fact. We have the expansion. And we have enough minerals for an engineering bay pretty soon. He goes for the factory again. And now he's waiting to expand. There it is. I am a little worried that maybe he expands pretty late now, but I think it's better to just have the factories than anything else. This is probably where we want to... you'll notice he's super late on the engineering bay take now. And I think this is where we want to do is... what we want to do here is call our block that we call in the expansions, instead of only calling them in expansions. For Terrans, we should call wait engineering bay. And then if we see down here, no towns engineering bay. If you have one, then just player need it. If you don't, add build. And here we'll say production is 90. So we can put this at 95, I guess, something like that. And then this is called a science facility instead of relying on player need there. I'm also noticing we have no fucking add-ons. Oh wait, we don't have add-ons because engineering bay, right? That's why. I was about to freak out, but it's actually intended. Not really intended, but expected, I guess would be the right word. There we go. We do have an add-on now. It's a mid bay. Yeah, but still no tech up is a pretty big idiot move. So let's try our new setup. Sup, Alexander? I think Walker Power is what's on for these guys. Let's do, if I scroll up, I'll find Terran, Mech, Walker Power is 4. So I'm pretty sure that player 4 has, yeah. Okay. Do you have an example of a dynamic language? Because I don't know what that means. I forgot already. Forgot it all. And this is where we call engineering bay. 89, 89. Yeah, all of those languages sound so icky to me. Probably just an implicit bias because they're usually horribly misused. Like having some performance-heavy code and operations be done with Lua, for example. Like all of what Blizzard does. What does it mean to be type safe in this context? Is that some like error checking or something? All right. Build 8 starport, by the way. What the fuck? Yeah, at that point we might as well just not worry about it and use JavaScript. Unless there's some other overriding advantage to it, because I don't think that's really that important in the grand scheme of things. All right, so we can port this over to the bio and air builds after I am done vetting to make sure that it works. For some reason, the PyMPQ import file button keyboard shortcut breaks after you import the directory. Pretty epic. Oh, I didn't save my fix to this tile blend. Pretty big prank. All right, let's take a look at this. One downside is they do waste their fucking so much mining time on the worker, but what are you gonna do? Okay, almost instantaneous engineering bay. How's the expansion? It's pretty slow because of the priority. Maybe we can make that a little bit different. Command center and exp town rand or whatever. No, 110 is the highest. I mean, it's way above any of these other priorities, so the odds of it doing that are kind of slim. Okay. This man has successfully built 5 fucking factories. Nice. Well, I'd say that that's still pretty impressive stuff right there. Now, this man here is looking for money for a science facility. So he's going to be chilling on that for a bit, I think. Especially if he's getting kissed over here. Which he indeed is. If only his spider mines had been placed slightly better. Ooh! That was really good, actually. And his allies are here to help him out, so... If he can end up repairing that factory, that would be good. There we go. What do we got over here? 3 salvo yards, double machine shop, and an expansion off the back. Yeah, purple's looking really strong after inheriting this setup as well. I think probably the biggest issue is the fact that this guy's kind of stalled out waiting for science facility money by the looks of things. Now he's finally going for it now, but that definitely slowed him down quite a bit. Like, he could have just... Yeah, he's still not dropping his add-ons, for example, right? Like, he's pretty preoccupied doing something else. It looks like he's preoccupied doing, like, building other production structures. Yeah, he's, like, dropping a factory, a starport over here. Yeah, the lack of add-on in general It's pretty concerning, to be honest. But he is satisfying all of his requests in terms of additional production structures, so there is that. Oh, here he comes helping his buddy, Smooch. Favor for a favor, homie. Meanwhile, same thing happening over here. They've lost some structure. It might have just been defense. Right. Yeah, the updated defense protocols feel really fucking strong now. I mean, like, to the point where the AI is actually responding to threats. There are going to be some stupid cases where now it will pull armies from like halfway across the map to defend itself when it could just repel it normally, but that's better than the alternative of getting fucking nothing done ever because you just lose everything, even though you have the ability to defend yourself. Like when Alexander and Balethal were playing on my new map a while back, I was spectating a game and they were playing against AI. And the AI, there's a specific AI that had like 1,000,000 units in the middle of the map, massing up for an attack, and then just never did anything with it. Well, they eventually attacked and they were driven back. But while they were massing up for an attack, they sat there and could have actually like defended themselves from Balethal's attack, but just didn't. That won't happen nearly as much anymore. So we are seeing a single add-on come out here. That's the Salvo Yard. Let's check over here. I don't see any add-ons. Yeah, so add-ons seem to be still a bit of an issue. What I will try now is prioritizing the add-ons by like one priority, so 81 instead of, or 91 instead of 89. And we'll see if that helps anything. That's pretty good. There we go. We have a ComSat coming out. That's an add-on. Oh, I think that might be an explicit demand by the script because it got attacked by a Lekizalisk. How we doing over here? Still plenty of defenders at the ready. See, this guy had plenty of time to get his add-ons going by contrast. And I think it's probably because he just didn't stall out for the science facility, but that excuse doesn't really follow suit here. Like, he's getting his third, red is. What is he trying to build? He's trying to build additional production structures by the looks of things. So yeah, I think in general, it's probably better off if they just prioritize the add-ons higher. And maybe I can also slow down the rate at which they look for additional production structures ever so slightly. We'll try that now. So that means going in and every 89 will become 91. And what else were we going to do? Slow down the overall rate, right? So let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more. The reason why I haven't done any in a while is because there's that like pretty much 100% chance that you crash towards the end. And even if that wasn't the case, miraculously we skate by without it, there would still be lag. It's just really unsatisfactory to me to put out a public-facing video and it's like, oh, there was a crash, or oh, I guess we'll just have to watch a slideshow for a sec. You know what I mean? That's kind of my main issue. So like once we resolve those issues, I mean, there's probably going to be like an infinite number of those videos, to be honest, because I really do enjoy doing them. I have to catch up as well on maps that I have made or maps that other people have made where I think there's something to be gleaned by looking at the map design and how the AI use it, as well as that stuff. Like, there's always plenty of stuff to talk about regarding Hydra's game state specifically, but I can usually tie it into recent map design developments and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say definitely going to be more of those on the horizon. I really enjoy making them. The main concern that I have is Yeah, I guess we can just double this, right? 240 should be fine. Main concern is like making sure that everything works out properly with the overall like setup, and it doesn't like completely embarrass a you know, the creator of the project, more or less. This is also where I wish I could watch a 4v4 game. Oh, hold on. Let me save so that busted tile isn't there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a case where I think if we stagger this is like a build specific issue, right? So if we go now to factory 90, that'll wrap me back around here. I think in such a situation here, we probably want to wait 900 and then maybe 600 here. My thinking is if we stagger that out a little bit, they will definitely want to, they'll have the timing to go for the double fact, and then they'll even have the timing to go for the expansion nice and early without like needing to factor in too much else, right? So like you won't need to worry too much about the timing there. So that will improve the timing, and that's something that is a specific thing. That is something that you have to like sort of test in general. There you go, Cyclops. Get him. Yeah. I think I'm definitely going to increase the power of the AI by then. Like I already have. I've fixed a lot of the core defense issues, for example, where the AI just doesn't respond to being attacked. I say this watching an AI just getting fucking harangued by 4 Zerglings. Oh, he's trying to defend his ally, I think. He's being a good Samaritan. But yeah, in general, the AI will be a lot more responsive for the whole defensive thing, and yeah, it's pretty. I think it's a pretty solid route to go in general. Okay, we've got the NG Bay down, third factory coming up, which I guess makes sense timing wise. They just finished the command center. What's up, Balethal? If you're talking about specifications for the AI system or whatever, Veek, I recommend you to throw that in a programming bin, get a sort of crowdsourced opinion on that one. Oh, instantly destroyed by Protoss, of course. Yeah, well, maybe other people will have some thoughts on the language and whether or not it's useful. Like, Iquare is going to know more about that offhand than I will, obviously, so. Here comes the assistance, the cavalry. 4 Zerglings and 1 Drakadin that just leaves. It's pretty good. Brutalized. Brutalized by reinforcements! So I guess this terrain is really not good for the AI, huh? Should probably open this up. I kind of want to give, like, the red and purple more build space than blue and orange, but blue and orange have the sidestepping of having more access to immediate resources, so I kind of like that. Yeah, you might as well, like, maybe after you guys have done some takeaways or whatever, have some, have made some comments and had some things to say. This is a disaster. Epic proportions. You did it, Vulture. You killed 2 Protoss units. You should be proud. Oh, fuck. pranked. Hi. Zergling's here. I wonder if buildings should be affected by cowardice / malice. Probably, right? Terran buildings can fly, so they can move. And Zerg building, well, attacking buildings can attack, so they can be affected by malice. We're under attack again. Oh no! The madrigal in the mineral line! Unbelievable! I'm waiting for the kill rack to pop up here. No! Oh no. He's loose. He's spinning! Ah! Spin! Where's he going? Dude, his missile's spinning, he's spinning, and he just pathed into his own siege tank. That was a disaster. Hi. Fuck that SCV. Fuck that Mason. Hey, could you help at the front line, maybe? With more units than just 3. I mean, I know 3 is pretty good, but... yeah, you might consider something more. Ah, Zerg here. Dude, that fucking madrigal in the mineral line, holy moly. The madrigal line, IMO. Factory killed by vulture. Complete embarrassment. Meanwhile, more phalanxes. I think he lost his science facility. He likes to build it in this position for some psychotic reason. And I think science facilities still have the, they still under Imgul the small rubble for some reason. Yeah. .grp maybe? Yeah. Let's do this. Okay, well, the mineral line is preserved. I can imagine 3 madrigals entering my mineral line, Balethal. My imagination is just that good. Quake in thy boots, homie. Dude, I'm so fucking glad, dude. I cannot tell you how glad I am that we don't have mischance and RNG in general in Hydra. I have to say, I am so fucking glad. Oh shit. Orange digging his heels in, saying no. Purple spamming units, saying hi. Purple blocking himself in. Oh, purple still hasn't expanded, meanwhile. Brown.png. Ridiculous. I don't understand how they continue to make their, like, production structures offset. Fucking start location marks the spot, dude. Normally they're pretty good about adhering to the start location. Not so this time, apparently. I do like the missile turrets. They are placed in, like, useful locations, actually. You'd probably want, like, one more directly on the mineral line. But aside from that, it's pretty good. Pretty on point. Hey, you already have one of these. Hey, cancel this. What an idiot. Yeah, 1 out of 256 mischance. By the way. because miracles must happen. Oh shit. Screenshot time! Well, I'm still not really convinced that the Terran performance for Red has been entirely fixed, but he did get focused down by pretty much every single player. It's like the first time I've even seen the purple player attack him. And meanwhile, I mean, the purple has done some okay stuff. He's still on NG Bay, and he's only now expanding, and obviously in a really stupid manner, so it's kind of a dead end there. But yeah, that's still pretty fucking positive. I'll take that overall. I think we're heading in the right direction, and it should be pretty easy to continue like updating this. At this point, I believe we are getting to the point where the only things left to do are actually related to individual build orders for Terran. And if that ends up being the case, like I do all of the individual build order adaptations and I don't see any obvious issues with the functions that I've made, I can start to take the functions and actually translate them across Protoss and Zerg as originally planned and, continue working on the specializations and all that fun shit. So yeah, I am pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with our progress today. Gonna take a break and head on out for now. We'll probably be doing a couple of videos later on today. I'm not sure how many of them will go live sooner rather than later, but you'll see some of them eventually. And aside from that, tomorrow, HYDRA stream, fraud, strike. So join us for those events later on. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks Veek for all the work on the website, and see ya later.